Welcome to the Happy Humanoid's Perspective, where your beliefs are challenged, thoughts provoked, and where you may find your happy place whether you like it or not.
And here are your hosts, Edith and Miles. Woohoo!
Welcome everyone to our show. My name is Miles and I am an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator. I'm joined here tonight by my bud and partner and wife.
Yes, Edith Paul, Access Consciousness Facilitator as well.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to our 34th show.
Oh yeah, 34.
Where we're going to talk about lies. Well, in a certain way, lies.
Mm-hmm.
So the myth of needing protection, being hurt, and this safety net of lies.
Yeah.
So what are you going to discover tonight? What are you going to become aware of you that will create more ease for your life? And everything that doesn't allow you to open yourself up to this will, create and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, all nice shorts, boys and beyonds. And all the conclusions and expectations you have about what needing protection is and what being hurt is, and everything about needing a safety net or some fallback position, will you now destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion?
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, being hurt. How is it a lie?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if Access Consciousness as a set of tools and philosophy, and there's a philosophy with that, and it mentions that we are an infinite being. And in the infinite being in the world of this infinite being is, well, there's no emotion, thoughts, feeling, emotion. It's not part of the infinite being. And so being hurt doesn't exist in the world of an infinite being.
Mm-hmm.
It's an invention in this reality in order for us to keep us, how can I say, to keep us, to create our reality. Yeah. So being hurt doesn't exist in the world of an infinite being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's easy to say when we don't have some kind of when we're not at ease with ourselves. Yeah, well, the trick is what I discovered. Everything is about energy. And thanks to Access, who gave us a lot of tools to deal with the energy, the source of everything. And when we have this kind of situation where we feel that we have been hurt by someone, by the thought of someone,
Mm-hmm.
it's about an invitation for us to look inside of us about that energy that is there in us and asking questions to that energy from this space of the infinite being in which being hurt doesn't exist. So it's about going to discovery here. It's about opening up to a new kind of reality. And it's about, playing with that energy instead of going into it, sink into it, and becoming a victim and create story about that and trying to prove that the other is wrong because I'm hurt and the other has to apologize or the other people has to change. It's about creating a totally new reality. You have the choice. If this is what you desire to do, yes, but my case is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What if it's just one of the tools of Access? What if it's just an interesting point of view? What if but this person did this or said this and I am hurt?
Mm-hmm.
What if it's just an interesting point of view about the person? Yeah, but it's real. It hurts so much inside of me. What if it's just an energy and you can remove it? And by asking questions, you can remove this energy by asking question. Like the first thing when we are in that kind of situation, whatever is inside of us, this hurt, does it belong to me? And why do we ask that question? Because we have this capacity. Sorry. We have this capacity to feel, to perceive how other people are with themselves, how they relate with others, and we can feel the energies in other people's body. And because we can perceive this energy, we believe that it's in our universe. We believe that it's ours. We believe and we live through these energies. But what if it's not yours? So the first question to ask is, does it belong to me? And when you say that and there's a likeness, it's because it's not, doesn't belong to you. So you say, I return all that to sender with consciousness attached. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So yeah, so that's the first question to ask. The second question is, okay, do I still desire to function with that kind of energy inside of me? Or do I desire to destroy and uncreate it? Because, you know, if you feel hurt, it's not yours. It's not from the infinite being that you truly be. You cannot destroy and uncreate something that is not yours. That doesn't belong to the infinite being. If this is who you truly be, that won't leave. So all this energy in me and all the thoughts, feeling, emotion, all the decision, judgment, conclusion, computation that keep in place that energetic dynamic that I feel right now that is inside of me that make me think that I am hurt, I am create and destroy at all times of God's will. And all the memories that create this, that feed this energy, I am create and destroy at all times of God's will. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, balls and beyond. So it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice here, no matter the intensity that you live inside of you about, I'm feeling hurt about something. It's a choice. Do I identify to this and I create a story and I create my life around this? Or I destroy and I choose to do whatever is required, asking questions about this and clearing this. Yeah. So everything that is brought up will you create and destroy at all times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nice shorts, boys and beyonds. Edith, I like to see in your very trauma and drama, Edith, and then out of Edith, and how you guys work together and create this very interesting thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's important.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
I'm so hurt.
Denying the trauma and drama. I was just admiring the
Yeah.
skill in which you
Yeah, I know.
intended to do that.
Of course. Thank you.
Moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the what you were saying about the coming from a space like today. When I was stuck in something, you asked me about where am I coming from? What space am I asking the question? So it's not really enough that I've discovered to just ask the question. Like if I'm in trauma or drama, or someone's in trauma and drama, and it's like I want to. It can be like even a subtle trauma and drama. It doesn't even have to be like this sort of blown up Hollywood moment. It can be just something about, yeah, just I feel stuck, whatever that is. And coming from a space of, instead of like just using the tools and asking a question, okay, this doesn't belong to me, or who does it belong to, or what is this? What can I do with it? Those questions. It's also acknowledging that this isn't real, like you said, Edith, and also coming from a space of the infinite being, like you said. I just want to reiterate that, because that was a good point for me today. I was like, how much of the trauma and drama or upset or where we're stuck do we try to get out of it from the place in which we're stuck? Because that's a key, because we can't change the situation unless we're in a different space or a different energy. And so today, when I was like feeling stuck about this thing, I was still in that space of trying to resolve this place where I was stuck within the space that I was stuck, and it wasn't working. Not until you mentioned, where am I coming from when I'm asking that question? I wasn't coming from the perspective. I wasn't stepping back and maybe coming from the space of would an infinite being choose this, and why would they choose that? So it's like getting out of the trauma and drama and then asking the question. And I know that sounds like that's almost impossible to do, because it's like when we're so wrapped up in this, the trauma and drama, we're upset wherever we're stuck. It's like, it's so real. It's so vivid, and it's so much, this is the way it is. You know, this is real for me. And if I can just step back a moment and say, oh, um, is that, can I just come from a space of the infinite being? And I have to say, that was one of the toughest ones for me to get with Access. It's like, what an infinite being chooses. That's one of the 10 commandments, or the 10 keys to freedom and access, is, would an infinite being choose this? And it's like, I just never got that, because it just didn't really click. And then today I was getting more of that. It's like, oh, okay, cool. This is what, coming from a different space. And that's what it's about. So everywhere that we're trying to resolve the trauma and drama, the upset, the places that we're stuck, from the place that we're stuck and having no result, and thinking that we're bound to live this hamster life forever in all eternity, will you destroy it and uncreate all that times godzillion, please?
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere you identify yourself to all these energies that are in you that create you so much upset, so much emotion, so much upside down, and you believe that it was you, will you now uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, there's something about in this space of feeling like you need protection. You know, there's this one of the things about creating barriers, and that's what happens when we try to protect ourselves, or we put up security systems, or we stay in a building, or we stay away from these certain people, we stay away from certain lifestyle situations or different interactions with people, because we want to protect ourselves and shield ourselves from that energy. It's like, oh, that's bad energy, or this person has evil chi, or the environment might, it's just too much for me. And all those places are the place where we create those barriers, and we put the shield up to try to protect us from this energy of our environment and our reality. And by doing that, it really, instead of creating a protective barrier, it puts us in a prison. And we're within this space, it's like a jail cell where we can't perceive, know, or be anything, because we have defined this as a problem. So we are not able to see anything beyond the definition or the conclusion that we've made about, this person is not good for me, or this energy in this situation, I don't do well with this energy, or this food, I know from my past, this food doesn't do well for me. That all those things are not questions. Those are all conclusions that put us in this jail cell, that we don't have a possibility of something else happening, or some other awareness. So everywhere that we have inadvertently put ourselves in our own prison of the uncertainty of not knowing, will we destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion, please?
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I want to say to people who attend, if you would like to ask questions, or if you would like to join us, just if you look, you will have, you can write something down below on the right bottom. And if you want to come in and ask a question, or if you want to ask a question, type a question, we will invite you, or we will answer your question depending which way you want to do it. Yeah, we'll be more than happy to contribute this way with you. Yeah, so yeah, this need to protect ourselves in this reality. And there are a lot of well, I don't know if it's a lot, but there are a few that I know, spiritual practice with energy where people have to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when you want to protect yourself energetically, you put some barriers, you put something, you put a wall, you put something. And as you said, one of the things is that you imprison yourself. The other thing is, when you put this barrier, what kind of energy do you put in there?
Mm-hmm.
You put the energy of what you don't want to be created. You put something. So
Right.
everything that you don't want in your life is included in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you desire, everything that you don't desire is included in your life. Everything that you desire is included in your life. So people think that by having some walls, putting some energetic wall, will help them, will protect them from other people. Well, that's a lie, because you're going to attract the same kind of people, because this is the energy that is still in your energy. So everywhere you believe that by putting some energetic wall, you will protect yourself from people, but it's the opposite. You create this same situation over and over again. Well, you now create and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, online shorts, boys and beyonds. I have a interesting story that I have a friend many years ago that he was like super calm person, like just really mellow and just a great person to be around, and just real happy and just like easygoing. And the one thing that would set him off was people that smoked. Man, the guy went berserk. He would just like would be in the vehicle with him, and somebody would be smoking in the car next to him, and he'd just go berserk. It's just like he was like trying to protect himself from the smoke because it was like the devil's breath or something. He doesn't want any of that stuff, and it's just went crazy about it. And instead of like, I didn't know any access tools back then, and instead of clearing that, it's just like that was something in his reality that he had to keep alive. He had to keep that. He imprisoned himself. Every time he would be in a situation where there was somebody smoking, he would just go berserk, and just like crazy because of it. And it didn't give him any freedom. And that was what he instantly went to when he saw someone smoking. It was in the sort of in the same vicinity of them smoking. It's like it really cramped his, from my perspective, my point of view, it really cramped his capacity to be in allowance and loving that person too. I'm not saying that was wrong. I just, the reaction that he had was so bizarre. I mean, there's this guy who's like super calm and super nice and gentle and just a beautiful spirit. And then someone smokes, he's like, it's all crazy about it. And so it's like, that's what happens. It's like wherever we get stuck, wherever something comes up and like we're so reactive to it, that's something that we have within ourselves that we just haven't cleared. And instead of going into this trauma and drama every time this comes up, it's like, what would be possible if I were just able to allow that just to go and to run the clearing statement, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all night shorts, boys and beyonds. Every time that comes up can be quick, or it will, over time, that will be gone. You just wake up one day and that thing won't be there, or if you do more in-depth clearing. So that was just interesting that I thought that it's like we all have these places that we get stuck in our life. And instead of going into the whole thing about it, whether it's like we think we've been hurt by someone, or we need protecting from something, some environmental thing, or that we're needing some kind of a safety device, it's just like whenever that comes up, just pot and pock that, just like I'll acknowledge it. Okay, I'm obviously stuck here. Okay, everything that is destroyed, uncreate, all that times Godzillion. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, on and shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, do you have something you want to go, or I can talk more about something if you...
Yeah, well, I have an example this morning.
Okay, cool.
This morning, during the weekend, I realized there's a person in my universe that with this person, well, that's a woman, there's no space for other person than her. There is no space, and this weekend, I tend to be in reaction to this person. And this weekend I said, okay, I will look at this. And I will look at this inside of me and discover what it is that keep me in reaction with this person. And I discover for me to be who I was, I kept myself small a lot of time in her presence. And I went to see why. And I became aware that I was perceiving the way, I don't know if it's in this lifetime or in past life. It's not important. It's in my universe right now. And for me, it's important to look at it. And because this is from that space that I am in relationship with her. And so I look at everything that I was living inside of me about inner presence, and I realized that this is what she desired me to be. No power, having giving her away my power, being there and listen to her, giving all the space. And well, yeah, what is it? Well, following everything she said. So some of it is from a past life. It's not like this in this lifetime, and this is really how I live it in this time, in this lifetime. So once I became aware of that, this morning I was in the space of, I need to protect myself from that person because she could be. And then I said, interesting. Do you really need to protect yourself? If you do this, if I do this, when we protect ourselves, we become smaller. We have to become smaller. We have to, so I said, is it what I desire? No. Is there another solution for me to be at ease with myself, with her, in her presence? So I begin to ask questions. What would it take for me to be at ease with me in her presence? Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, the ultimate protection you can have in your life is awareness. Being present with yourself and being aware of the other person and allowing the other person to choose whatever she chooses for her, and allowing the other person to have some expectation of you and have no point of view. That's the thing. And I ask other question, what would it take for me to give myself my space when I'm in front of her or when I'm in her presence? What would it take for me to take my power back? Because I gave her my power in the past life. She was a superior of something. Another lifetime, I was her superior as well. So yeah, it's not the first time that we have met each other. And that was this thing about being present. When I allowed myself, what would it take for me to be present with myself, totally present with myself in her presence, and everything that doesn't allow that. And I cleared that over and over again until I perceive, okay, I am there now in my body and I will be with her. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I said, okay, what is it? What will it take for me to allow her this desire that she desired to take all the space, this desire to be like a bulldozer and come in my energy and still stay present and have no point of view about her energy. This is where we find our own power. When we allow ourselves to be totally present, and this is about vulnerability as well. It's about, in this reality, being vulnerable is about being weak, being like a target, but it's not true. When we allow ourselves to be totally present with ourselves, we allow people to be whatever they choose for themselves, and we are just in presence of all that, and we are totally present with that. We are in a space where things can change. We are an invitation for the other person to see themselves, because when we put barriers, the other person will try either to defend themselves or to prove something. Look at this. When you try to put a barrier, sometimes someone will try to come into your universe, try to remove this. But if you don't have any barriers, the only thing that could be is that they become aware of who they are and what they do. Mm-hmm. So what would it take for you to allow you to choose to be that kind of vulnerability with the person that you think you have to protect yourself, and clear everything in your energetic level, all the fears. If it's the case, write down everything. And don't judge what you will write down. What if those are memories from a past life with that person? And clear all of that to be free, to have this possibility to be totally present with yourself in the presence of this person, and being in a space where you don't react and you're not affected by what the other person chooses for themselves. So how would it take for you to choose this vulnerability that you truly are? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nice shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, I think that's great. I want to touch on vulnerability a little bit more. That's such a key element. And also, like you said, Edith, is like having total awareness is the ultimate protection. That's really the ultimate like safety or whatever. It's not really safety, but it's just having the awareness. And the more that we can be this vulnerable person about just allowing, having so much awareness and so much attention on everything that's going on, that you can perceive, know, and be everything that is. So as an example, if for example, if I have a conclusion about someone in my life, and I say, oh, he's such a nice guy, or he would never do me wrong, he's such a nice guy, and I've made that conclusion, or I've defined this person as being that way, then I no longer am in awareness. I'm having in the space of conclusions, and I'm not really being vulnerable. So when this person, let's say this person is doing something drastically that could be harmful to me or like could hurt me, that is sort of the result of me being in unawareness. Like if I had the awareness of, hey, this person is really cool today, and they also have the capacity to be anything. And so just being in that vulnerable state of just being totally aware, then I can perceive that this person, okay, this person has a capacity to be mean, whatever. So instead of protecting myself because this person is a mean person, I just know that about that person. So I'm not trying to protect myself. And then if they're trying to be mean to me, I don't try to define it as, oh, that's just a nice person, whatever. It's like I can acknowledge that the person's expressing some kind of unkindness toward me. And if I don't react to that, then I'm fine. It doesn't stick me. If I'm just in vulnerability and allowing this person to say whatever they want to say, and not having the point of view that I need to protect the conclusion that I have about this person, like this person's a nice person, therefore what they're saying, that it must be nice. I must have done something wrong for this person to say something, instead of just thinking, oh, this person's being unkind to me. Interesting point of view that they're doing that. And if I don't react, then there's no unkindness done to me. I don't take it on as anything personal. I don't make myself wrong for it, and I don't make them wrong for it. It's just the awareness that I have. Now, that doesn't happen right away, I'll guarantee you that, for me anyway. But practicing that and just being in awareness that more and more that happens. It's like more and more I'm able to allow someone to be crazy or to accuse me of something. And by the way, if they're accusing you of something, that's usually what they're doing themselves. If they're accusing you of being mean, then they're being mean themselves. So just keep that in mind. Then I have total freedom. Then I don't have anything that I need to defend or react to or align and agree with. So everywhere that you're making yourself wrong because someone is being mean to you, or someone that you have defined someone as being caring or sweet or charming, or that they have your back or whatever, everywhere you've defined all that and you allow yourself to be in unawareness, will you please destroy it and uncreate all that times gazillion?
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, bows and beyonds. When we allow ourselves this vulnerability, this total vulnerability, we are in the total presence of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And from that space, we have a total receiving, which means that we can receive everything from everyone and we are aware of all that, and we have the total choice as well, which means that we can know, be, perceive, and receive everything. And asking question, we can deal with that. We can manage that. We be in relationship with whatever is there totally differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what would it take for you to allow yourself to move beyond this idea to be protected or to be hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and allow yourself to choose to be in that space of total presence, being in total awareness. Yeah. And because what if this is the way to be totally powerful, potent this way? And everything that doesn't allow that will, uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, and if you'd like to have a little bit of home play today or for this week, just acknowledge every time that you align and agree with someone or resist and react to them. And all those places are where you stick yourself or where I stick myself. So just this week, just acknowledge where you're aligning and agreeing with someone, where you're in conversation and someone's wanting to dump on you and say how bad their life is, and you're agreeing or whatever. Or they're having some opinion about someone and then you align and agree with that, or you resist and react to. These are all places where we're not in allowance or not in awareness, that we've gone into this space of unawareness and no choice, because we've already made our choice and that's what we're sticking to. So I guess that's it for today. Any other final moments for this week, Sweet Sweets?
Yeah. Yeah, if you, by listening to this, your brain is like, I don't get it. Yeah, welcome to our club. This is something totally different. This is something that is like so different from this reality. So I invite you to either re-listen to it or contemplate this idea, contemplate everything we said and asking questions. And sometimes we have to integrate everything, or we have to think about it, and we have to try to be in this energy that we offer as a possibility. And yeah, and what would it take for you to allow yourself the time to do this and to choose? That's the thing too, to choose to destroy and uncreate everything that keeps you in reaction, as Miles said, and keep you in this idea that you need protection and you need to be, and you are hurt about something. So it doesn't mean that you have to come very cold with yourself, or you have to cut yourself from everything. It just means that you have to being present with whatever is, and from there you choose for yourself what you desire. Do I desire to feed this energy, this dynamic, or do I desire to uncreate and destroy it? So yeah. So thank you so much. Is there something else you would like to add?
Yeah, one final thing is, like, being vulnerable doesn't mean that you're the victim of something. So if someone's being physically abusive to you, that doesn't mean that you just allow that. You do what's required to defend yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be all vulnerable and no, that's not vulnerability. That's stupidity. If someone's being violent to you and you're in this space, do what's required to make yourself, to create a different situation. So that's different than vulnerability.
Yeah.
So on that lovely note,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Give us a honk of support by subscribing, commenting, and sharing the show with your friends. Or, if you didn't like the show, please share it with your enemies.
Take care. See you again next week.
Bye-bye.